Hey, Mark Rodriguez here. You're watching America's #1 cure for insomnia, the Diving Cutter Wrestling Podcast, and with me are.
Uh, I'm Wendy. Hi.
And also we have.
Back again after a long hiatus is Ninja Panda 1980, and with me is
Johnny Rodriguez.
Oh, I didn't do the grandiose introduction this time.
Yeah, because usually I'm after everyone and I'm before Johnny. That's what threw me off.
Oh, well, yeah.
Cool.
All right. So, anyways, guys, some different. So, anyways, we're going to be talking about AEW Dynasty and, what happened to the matches, who won and everything, comparative predictions, because we all put our predictions here and there. Who was right, who was
But
wrong.
I will have to say this: the only one who is not even in this match, unfortunately, is Panda because he didn't get all his predictions in time. I'm sorry that you could not, give all your predictions for this B show of a pay-per-view.
Okay. Now, luckily, we did like the package deal because they had a package deal that you could get. The last one was Revolution, right? So you could get Revolution and Dynasty. So you got them both at the same time. So that was I didn't have to like whip out the $50 now whenever Dynasty came out. It wasn't like, oh my God, our pay-per-view, take out the wallet. In this case, it was already prepaid and all
Two
that
for the
stuff.
price of two.
Yep, there we go. Well, you still
Two for the
about
price
20
of-
or so bucks.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But we get the idea. And yes, it's on ppb.com. And also, what's that new thing they got now?
The Triller, and it's also on Amazon Prime. It doesn't make sense to me. It's weird to me,
Yeah, so they're expanding. So Bleacher Report's a thing of the past. But anyways, before we get into that, we're going to go into certain wrestling news here and there of different things, not always AEW. The first one we got is Kevin Owens from WWE. He got some kind of neck injury in a recent match. And not only is he missing this year's WrestleMania, which he was supposed to be going up against Randy Orton, there's news that he may not wrestle at all for the rest of 2025. And it might even be potentially that he might even miss next year's WrestleMania, which how severe that neck injury is and everything. I'm not sure, you probably watch it more than I do, Panda. Like, which match was that where he fucked up his neck?
Before you get into that, I just got one thing to say. At least WWE knows that if their wrestlers are not in tip-top shape, they can't perform, so they give them that time off.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into that part in a minute. But I'm not sure exactly which match that was that Kevin Owens got the neck injury. But from what I'm understanding, yeah, it is pretty rough. He is going to be out for the rest of this year and possibly next year. They're saying the neck injury is almost the equivalent of what happened with Edge originally when he went out 10 years ago.
Oh.
So there may actually have to be some spinal fusion involved. So, best of luck to him. I hope he gets back soon. But yeah, it's going to be kind of a rough year without him, especially plot-wise, because him and Orton were supposed to be having like some bangers of a few matches. But I don't know who they're going to put as Orton's opponent. But it's not going to be Kevin Owens.
And the thing about Kevin Owens, like they always say, he was always a safe worker too. But dang, it's bad that he's going to miss out on WrestleMania. What are you drinking with you in these fancy waters lately?
Icelandic glacial natural spring water from Iceland.
Yeah, probably tap in the back of the store.
Because we're going to drink water, might as well make it count.
Anyway, probably from a tap in the back of the store.
Uh-huh.
So here's hoping that Kevin Owens does get a good recovery and all that stuff. But still, geez.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't make him have to like fully retire though, because he's still kind of young. You still got a lot ahead of him, I would think.
Yeah.
Because like I was saying, WWE they seem to work smarter, not.
Oh, give or take, because remember they got that whole almost wrestling 24/7 schedule.
Well, okay, but there is that. But I just meant as far as safety goes, because you hear about injuries there, but not to the extent of AEW.
Yeah. So then the other news we have is something else.
Becky Lynch is thinking about retiring.
Yeah, she was on some, but the thing is, like, they haven't announced it officially, but on some podcasts it sounds like she's talking like wrestling is a thing of the past for her, and it sounds more like she wants to dedicate herself more to her kid. I don't know if it's kid or kids by
At
now
this
because
point.
it's been a while. So I don't know what's going on with her. I know she had a kid, but she wants to, I guess, devote her time more to motherhood than being in the ring. That's
Yeah,
what it kind of
especially
sounds like.
it's probably tough when both your parents are active wrestlers, I would think.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys got any thoughts on that. Just in
Yeah,
general.
I mean, like Wendy said, it would probably be tough if both of your parents are both active wrestlers on the road constantly with like what, maybe a grand total of 2 weeks off
Yeah.
per year.
Mm.
So yeah, that would be tough trying to raise a kid on the road, and both your mother and your father are both wrestlers. So I agree where she's coming from. Now, given you know my reasons, I do not like Becky Lynch, but I do respect her decision if she decides to retire to take care of her child. So good luck
Mm.
to her on that one.
Yeah.
So, going with that, we were saying, like, it's tough having both parents always traveling and not spending time with your child. I'm just thinking about what I have to deal with, and these parents are around. So imagine the kids whose parents are actually always working and how that child might, turn out or act.
Yeah, but not just that. You have to also, they're both like the top stars that gotta
And they
be
gotta
in
carry
every episode.
yeah.
It wasn't like if Rollins was like a B character that can miss a couple episodes because whatever. Like both him and Becky are some of the top ones. They gotta be in almost every episode doing something.
Yeah, so like, that child might act out a lot. I mean, the child may act out, just to get the parents' attention.
Yeah. So in other news, it looks like what's his name? Lex Luger is gonna get inducted in this year's WWE Hall of Fame.
And originally they were talking about, like, a few weeks ago, they were saying he wanted Sting to induct him, but Tony wasn't having that.
Yeah.
So instead, DDP is going to do it, I believe, right?
Yeah, Diamond Dallas Page and everything. And well, I don't know. It's like I don't know, a mixed bag. It's like on one side, Lex Luger really wanted Sting in there, so his wishes. But on the other side, I'm like the way WWE treated Sting, like Sting don't own nothing. Like not Luger, but WWE himself. Because you know how it is. They're gonna capitalize off it and make money and probably sell some Sting shirts or whatever.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
but I'm just saying with Triple H is in charge now, so it might be a little different.
yeah.
I mean, he got like Ultimate Warrior back and Bruno Sammartino of all people back, to induct them. I mean, it's just for him to induct someone else. So,
Yeah.
like that. So, I mean, thoughts on that one, guys?
Yeah, any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I think it's kind of shit that Khan won't let Sting go to induct him in this, especially since what exactly can Khan do? He's retired. He's out of his contract. There's nothing he could do to literally touch him. If Sting wanted to go to that Hall of Fame, he could. I mean, Khan is just
Unless he has like maybe he has some kind of clause in the contract that said after you're done with us, you can't do anything involving WWE for X amount of time.
well, I mean, they do have that non-compete clause for
Non-compete
X
clause.
amount of months, even after retirement.
I know, but he's not competing. But maybe it still counts as some form of competing. But he's been gone for such a while. I mean, it seemed like it would be like no.
Yeah, it seems like that contract would be up by now. I mean, I'm just gonna be real with you, and you can censor me on this. Khan's just being a baby back bitch. That's pretty much the bottom line of it. I mean, him and Luger have been friends for years. No, I take that back. Not even years, decades. Between wrestling in U.S., Japan, and two different wrestling factions, they've been around each other for years. Let the man go. Let him induct him. Hell, induct Sting if he's not. Well, actually, Sting's already there. Let him induct him into the Hall of Fame. Like, it's only fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, Sting wasn't it?
Yeah, for a short time. But they kind of count WCW with WWF, so I guess. But any thoughts, Johnny?
I still think AEW did Sting dirty in that retirement match when he was gonna, in the middle of his big speech, his farewell speech, they just kind of cut in the middle of it, and it's like, Wow, that's how you guys respect Sting? Like, it's not a good look for AEW in that department.
Review. There's no overrun. Who cares? You're not interrupting a show. It's a pay-per-view, that's streamed or whatever.
Everything is great. Everything is great. Ding. Maybe the Bleacher Report is like, oh no, we gotta cut them off, man.
Yep. Oh man. So the last bit of news we had that was just random stuff I found a moment ago. It's just a little oddity and a little flub, and it looks like it happened to everyone or not many people. Is of course you guys seen us in the past. We've had the All Elite Crate, which is a quarterly subscription box where the same people that made Pro Wrestling Tees and of course the regular Pro Wrestling Crate, and it's all AEW themed stuff. So it happens that I guess people got this particular quarter's box, and you know how you got the little card, those list all the things, you get a shirt of this, a shirt of that, a pin, a video, whatever, and it said you get an autograph from what was it? From Kyle Fletcher. Because let's get an autograph of Kyle Fletcher.
Autograph picture of Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, but instead it's an autograph picture of Ricky Starks and everything. And I was looking at the thing, like some person posted a picture like it was weird, but then like I read it, but then you see like the comments and they're like, damn, I thought I was the only one. And then people were like, whoa, I was gonna post a picture too. So I guess I don't know if everyone, but at least for a lot of people, they got a Ricky Starks autograph instead of a Cloud Fletcher autograph.
Oh well.
And that's just odd. You know what I mean? Like one person slipped through the cracks, okay, but like it sounds like a lot of people, if not everyone, got accidental Ricky Starks autograph instead of Kyle Fletcher.
I mean, if you think about it, that would be a cheaper ticket, seeing as Ricky Starks is no longer in AEW.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I know. And that's the weird thing. It's like getting a box that promises I don't know, a Pac-Man shirt, but you get an Alf shirt instead. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Wow, Alf.
Yep.
I said
Okay.
I got my elf doll from I have my elf doll from like 1987 somewhere in my parents' storage unit.
Oh,
Oh God. Oh, one thing I gotta say, when we were looking at her storage unit, she had like volume 2 of the Dragon Ball Z manga, because back then they went back and put like 3 mangas in one, so like thicker volumes. She had volume 2 of the manga, and the manga was just out there. It wasn't in like like a plastic bin or some other thing. It was just out there at the mercy of the elements for who knows how long before we decided to check it out. And the book still looks like he just bought it yesterday at Barnes and Nobles or something.
Yeah.
oh wow,
I
that's
was
awesome.
like, holy, that's one very well sealed what do you call it? Storage center. Like
Yeah.
my God.
So
Oh.
also in AEW injury news,
Uh-oh.
so I just did like another check, and they said that fortunately, he was not concussed,
Okay.
but Hook did take a chair attack during AEW Dynamite and ended up like throwing up and looking half concussed. And he was moving very slowly to the point that Samoa Joe actually had to bail him out, and they had to call the match. Now, I don't know if this was maybe, I'm starting to wonder now if maybe it was a bit of a setup or if it was just like a slightly botched move. But what really irritates me about this is Wendy was talking about the safety of AEW wrestlers. Now, to see somebody end up throwing up in the middle of a match, that should have been called right there. But they let the match go on and finish in its entirety. That I don't stand for. That's just ridiculous. But fortunately, we did get good news. Hook did not receive a concussion. He just, like I said, it just nailed him in the stomach. He got sick. That was pretty much the beginning and end of it. But still, something that bad, they should have called the match.
I'm just trying to remember the match because I think I was only halfway paying attention because I just didn't care. But
It was an ops tag team match. It was like him and Samoa versus 2 of the Death Riders.
Mm-hmm.
that's why I didn't care. And I wasn't really fully paying attention.
And it was really hard to see because like he was already laying on the ground and his arm was like kind of covering himself up. But then like when you saw him pop his head up for a split second, you could tell he was throwing up.
Oh wow!
And you can actually
I
see
must
it
have missed that.
in
That
the
was,
ring.
that was
Definitely.
a bit more weight during that, but I must have missed that.
Mm.
My God. But I gotta say something, the Death Riders theme, doesn't the Death Riders theme sound like sleazy bar music? Like I
Yeah,
can
I've been saying
imagine
that for a while.
that's what was playing in the background whenever Moxley was picking up like Marina Shafir, like, hey, gonna buy a big babe or something, like.
Yeah, that does sound like some music you'd hear coming out of the Salty Spittoon or something like that.
Oh god. All right, guys. Any thoughts on the news and stuff, Johnny, before we move on to the actual event?
Yay.
Just AEW. A lot of times I feel like they don't care about their wrestlers getting injured that
But
bad.
everything is great.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna replace the theme song instead of, because the Vince thing is all old. The joke's already old by now. So I'm gonna replace the whole "it's such good shit" at the end. I'm gonna replace it with "everything is great."
Ding.
oh, and that part of Tony Khan always seems like all his pay-per-views are flawless and they always do great and they always have these huge attendance, big crowds at his half-empty arenas.
A lot changed, right, Johnny? When you think back, because you were actually there live twice. When you think about it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't know. I just felt like
It just seemed better.
Tony Khan lost his way.
Yeah. Now the thing is, I was there. Johnny wasn't there for that one, but I was there with Chuck Rodriguez for the I guess DJF too, maybe. I think it was us three, me, Chuck and DJF. We were there to watch the third episode of Dynamite live. And it just felt so promising, and everything was so new back then. All these guys were unknown still for us, so we didn't know like who was gonna make it big and who wasn't, and blah 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 blah.
I guess maybe you could have forgotten, like, oh, that guy was in NXT or that guy's a.
Well, we know that, but I mean, but people like for example, Darby Allin. I never seen him before this. We had Darby Allin there. Jimmy Havoc was still there.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, I guess the other people. I had pictures with Sonny Kiss and Viva the Barbarian. No, oh God, Viva the Librarian. I got to say.
Oh, she's gone now, right?
Yeah, she's also gone. And the people I got pictures of, like Darby Allin, happened to be the one dude that became more of a star and lasted longer compared to everyone else. Because Sonny Kiss is also gone from the company
I
nowadays.
don't see the fascination with him at all.
See, here's my problem with AEW right now. They are failing at content and booking because of the fact of their namesake. Like literally when AEW first started, when it was started by Cody and Kenny and the Dumb Fucks, when it first got started, the whole intuition, the whole big gimmick of it was this was wrestling created by wrestlers, and for fans. The wrestlers were able to book their matches. They were setting up their plot lines. They were setting up their entire business. And they didn't have like any, crap writers or anything like that. They weren't trying to go the same route as WWE. But now that WWE has gotten their shit together, they've been trying too hard to copycat them. And in some ways trying to copycat other things, which we'll talk about later, like ECW. And it's not working for them. It's not working anymore. And with the unsafe environment that they're having as far as wrestlers getting injured, plot lines having to constantly change and shift, they don't know how to handle it. Like, if something happens in WWE and a writer goes down, and a writer's, script just goes out of the window, they actually, have another writer that they can sit around and go, okay, what can we do to change this? What can we do to fix this? What can we do to make this work? They don't have that. They pretty much do their writing almost, it seems like on the fly. And then if something doesn't work, then it's just sheets to the wind, boys. We'll just figure something out. And that's what's really killing them, not to mention their content. Like they actually get wrestlers from other wrestling federations that have been fired or clipped off for whatever reason. But sometimes you gotta think, yeah, sure, some of these guys were let go for stupid reasons, but you also have wrestlers that may have been clipped off for other reasons, like performance issues, things like that. I mean, for instance, you got Big Cass. Okay, fine and good. When he was in WWE, he got clipped because wasn't a good wrestler. Now here he is in AEW. Still not a good wrestler, but hey, at least he's still getting paid and getting a contract. So yeah, that's the type of stuff they need to work on. Tony Khan needs to quit collecting former WWE guys like they're freaking Pokemon. He needs to treat his wrestlers a little bit better and let them write their own stories. And I guarantee you, it'll be back as good as it was all the way back to when they had that first pay-per-view on YouTube. Trust me.
I would say, like, I was just thinking about, like, we were just talking about a while ago, like, Eddie Kingston, like, what's happening with him?
He's still badly injured.
I know, but I would assume so, because it sounds like he really messed himself up.
Yeah, his
One
leg's
move-
still
a move
messed
he
up.
shouldn't have been doing.
He is on the AEW milk carton roster right now. Like nobody's seen or heard from him. His last I heard, he's still trying to train to get his leg together. For all I know, he might be trying to get his whole self together. You'd probably come back in with like looking like Brian Cage or something, which if that works, hey, all more power to him. But from my own understanding, he's still trying to work out kinks on that leg injury.
Like I said, just not a good environment to be working. And also, like you pointed out about storylines and stuff, it's like late WCW stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing though. Back in the day, because Vince would almost like purposely book the opposite of what you wanted in matches. With AEW, we were having a hard time predicting who was going to win in the earlier podcast episodes because AEW was so unpredictable, and we were and a lot of the stuff we were saying like, okay, this guy versus this guy, and if it was WWE, it most likely would be this guy winning because that's whoever does not want to win. But now we're kind of, because AEW is different. We just don't know. We can't tell. It could go either way. And now we're kind of going into the predictable match stuff.
Gosh, about 99% of this car was predictable.
Yeah. So, anyways, let's get started, guys, before we drag it out too much.
Yeah.
And we got some notes and everything here, and we'll go through them. Although we're gonna probably need William's help with the last couple of matches. We were kind of like zonked out.
I was just dead to the world. I was like, I'm sick of this. I'm going to sleep.